Awesome. How are you guys doing today? Woo! Awesome. My name is Dan Dalstra. I am, like everyone else, a wedding and portrait photographer. I sort of split my time between Texas and now the great but politically challenged environment of Iowa, which is a lot of fun. So I am thrilled to be here. I want to say, first of all, thank you so much for you guys all coming out. There are amazing things to see all over, and the fact that you're spending a little time with us here at MagMod is incredible, so thank you for that. Secondly, thank you to MagMod for having me out. This is my second time to speak for them. It's always an honor. I couldn't do what I do without their amazing products, and I hope that from my presentation and the other folks here at MagMod, that you see how just invaluable these products are. They can take your photography to a whole nother level. So that's the key, right? So let's take a look. Again, here's me, Dan Dalstra, nestled among the cornfields of Iowa. I love what I do. I'm super blessed to be able to have fun, bring joy to people, and create memories that will last lifetimes and lifetimes. I know, thank you. I put that one for you, Trevor. What I want to talk to you for a little bit first today is about the groom and his guys. We've spent a lot of time talking about brides. We've spent a lot of time talking about reception lighting. What I want to show you is just, sometimes, not that the groom's not important, but sometimes the groom gets a little left behind in the wedding day. And so I thought we'd use a few techniques so we can use. Can you hear me? Did I go out? Still live? Okay, good. A few techniques so we can make the groom and his guys look pretty spectacular. So let's go. All right, this wedding was in St. Paul. I live in Texas, but we went up to Minneapolis to photograph this wedding here, and it rained all day long. And so I like to tell my clients who are all worried about the weather, just go ahead and pray for rain in your wedding day, because that we can make it super spectacular. So, crazy dark skies all day long. So, and if you can see, I don't know if you can see very well, but they're wet, right? Their suits are wet from the rain. So I have my lovely assistant with monopod and the MagSphere. Let's take a look. 8200 mounted with a MagSphere, lighting them up nice and evenly, and it really helps us separate them out from the background, that dark sky. Great pop of light. This is like sort of like a movie poster for a mob movie, I think, and they loved it, and it's really a great thing. I use a Nikon D750. One thing you'll see a lot in the pictures I show today is apparently I'm obsessed with the 24-70 because I apparently use that for everything. Also, I have a Nikon D750, and I switched back and forth with a Sony, so you'll see some different cameras. Again, just one light, 8200 on a MagSphere. The MagSphere is spectacular, and sometimes I grid it, sometimes I don't. Just depends on sort of what I'm looking for and how much do I want to control that spill of light. So that's these guys. Here, this is a 3-light setup. I love the Walking Groom has been shot, right? It's like super cool. Like they look like Reservoir Dogs as they're walking by, kind of awesome. 3 lights in this one. I've got one red gel with the MagGel lighting up the wall behind them. I've got another light on the ground because I wanted to get the texture from the rain, from the water on the ground, which I think kind of gives it another kind of gritty element to it, which I really like. And then my assistant back here also with that MagSphere, lighting them up, the group. Could I get rid of that guy's head? Probably. It's not one guy with 2 heads, just to put that out there. That would be cool. I don't discriminate who I photograph. So 3 lights on the ground for this particular photograph. Again, Nikon D750, 24-70 lens. And as you're layering lights, I like to think of as I layer lights in any kind of picture, kind of like a parfait, right? Parfaits are amazing. Everyone loves parfaits. So you start off with one little bit in there, and then you add little layers of stuff, little layers of light, like a lighting parfait. It's delicious, and it looks cool. All right, so let's go just to the groom. The grooms all love the cigar shot. Who doesn't want to look like a badass with their cigar shot? I want to look like a badass with a cigar. So, a couple ways you can shoot the cigar shot. If you put the light here, if this is my groom and I put it here, then we're going to light up his face. We're going to light up that smoke. It's really cool. I love sort of the grittiness in the background of the photo. Such a cool guy. And I really think it kind of highlights like his feel, his mood, what he's kind of going for there. And the other way you can light this, you could put the light behind him and shine the light through. And so, well, let's talk about here. 8200, again with the MagSphere, camera pointed right here, D750, 24-70 lens, and there's some settings right there. What helps a lot when you're doing a smoke shot, a rain shot, anything like that, is for your background to be dark, right? Otherwise, you're not going to see it. So if you have I don't know, trees, or you have a dark wall, or it's night outside, that's when you're going to go for these smoke shots, rain shots, anything like that. The other thing I like to do when I'm doing the groom and the cigars is the rim light. I love a good rim light. So if you stand behind, and for this one I used the MagSphere. Let's see if I put it in here. You know, the MagGrid, because I want to control that light. I don't want to spray light all over the place in this picture, right? I want it to be just right around him and just light up that smoke. It's really cool. My favorite thing about this photograph, besides his reaction when I showed him on the back of the camera, like, you look like such a stud, are his two little light googly eyes right here. That's sort of my favorite little section of this thing. In post, I boosted the blues on the smoke just a little bit. Could I have put a gel on and really made that smoke blue or red or whatever? Absolutely. But then I'm also coloring his hair, right? Which I didn't necessarily want to do. I don't think he would like having blue hair. I mean, I think it would look cool, but that's just my opinion. So we just in post, bump up the blues a tiny bit, really make these little bokeh lights pop. And one of my favorite groom shots of all time. I think it's so easy to do. I can't tell you guys how easy these shots are to do. If you have an assistant, that's awesome. If you don't, you put your light on a stand about, I don't know, 8 feet or so behind your subject, and you just pop it. I like to start my light, I always guess around 1/16 of a power, because I can go up or down based on how much light's coming through. Am I blowing out the highlights? And if so, then I can move my light backwards or dial down the power. So that's just a great way to start, and then you can move it up and down based on how much power you're getting out of your flash. Does that make sense? Any questions about anything so far? Man, you guys are awesome. Here we go. All right, my next favorite thing to do when I have a groomsman is highlight the groom, right? The groom is the star of the show, so that's what we want to show. Obviously, his guys here are his buddies and they support him, but I don't care about them. I care about this guy, right? What I really care about is how much the bride thinks this is a cool picture, right? That's what I want, right? The bride to be like, oh my God, my husband is so handsome. So if we just light the groom, so the way I like to do this is the mag snoot. Have we seen a mag snoot somewhere? Justin, can you find, no, snoot.
Oh, I heard scoop.
That's cool. The mag snoot is this great little thing. Aha, thank you, sir. This is the mag snoot. It creates a really narrow beam of light, like a little laser beam, which is pretty cool. And you can sort of adjust the narrowness of that beam of light by folding this in or out, right? And that can help narrow that beam of light. The other thing that can help narrow the beam of light is how far away your light send is from the subject. If it's really close to you, it's a tiny little spot in your head. If it's farther away, it's a nice circle of light that's just gonna hit where you want it to go. So if you wanna highlight anything, whether it's a groom's face, a wedding cake, the rings, the bouquet, a centerpiece, this is a great tool to use to do that when lighting anything that you wanna highlight, if that makes sense. Let's see here. Yeah, 8200 Max. Oh, look, I used my old D3S for this photo. Isn't that lovely? So, my favorite time of day, sir.
How far away was that then from his face?
Oh, a good distance. What I don't want it to do is spill on these guys, right? That's what I don't want.
20 feet?
No, more like 10, probably 10 feet. So I'll get a little spill and then I can come back through in post and clean that up, right? And make them look nice and dark while I really keep the light on him.
Oh, handheld?
Oh yeah, handheld, yeah.
Handheld?
Yeah, sure. Oh, the snoot. Yeah, no, like that's best to put on a thing so it stays where it always stays, right? Yeah, you want that to stay there. My favorite time of day really to portraits of the groom, the bride, anyone, is that blue hour, right? The sun's gone, but the sky is still that beautiful color, right? It's stunning. It looks fantastic on photographs. It looks amazing in their album. And so, like, this is a big, beautiful spread in their album. You want to make more money? Sell albums. Make your stuff look fantastic. Another version of highlighting just the groom. Here we go. Sunset, groomsman. This guy flies Apache helicopters for a living, so he's kind of a hero in my book. So I want to make him look like a hero. And I want to make his wife think of him as a hero, right? So he looks super awesome in his uniform. His guys were all saying they're super cool. I knew I was going to get a great sunset at this venue. So what do? We get the snoot, but guess what I didn't have with me? The snoot. So I used my AD200, if I could speak properly, and I asked the bride to be my assistant. So the bride stood up on a rock and held the AD200 with a grid on it and I had her cup her hands. Let me show you how to do this. I have her hold it like this, turn it this way, so my light's not spilling out to the side, just vertically, right, this way. And then I have her cup her hands around the flash head to help eliminate that spill on either side, right? So if you don't have a snoot handy, you really want to narrow that beam of light, use your good old hands and just wrap it around the head of that flash and hold it up this way. So the bride's sitting on a rock over here, lighting the groom. His buddies are hanging out looking cool. And we made this amazing, amazing image. I just love it. There's a little bit, you can see a little bit around the groomsmen, so I kind of went in post, darkened them down just a little bit. But it's such an amazing way just to highlight the groom, and people love it. They absolutely love it. Any questions about this one? Yes, sir.
How long did it take you to do that, to complete that shot?
10 minutes, probably?
10 minutes?
Yeah, maybe less. The hard part is getting all the groomsmen pulled away from the bar. That is the toughest part, right? So if you can tell them, hey, I'm gonna make you guys look cool, let's step away from the bar just for a minute, then they're usually down for that. That's the hardest part in anything, is getting the groomsmen away from the bar.
Did you do any other lighting scenarios then with that setup?
No, just this. Yeah, I kind of had in my mind what I wanted to do. Her question was, did I do any other lighting scenarios with this group of guys? The answer is no, just this. I knew this is exactly what I wanted, and so this is where we went to. 180-200 with the MagGrid, my D750, my 24-70, 1/4000th of a second. I don't do a lot of, I don't like think in my head, this is gonna be at 1/4000th of a second. I shoot it and see what works. If it looks great, I move on. I'm not like super concerned about these settings unless the depth of field is gonna make a difference in my shoot, if that makes sense. Yes?
No manual focus on the Nikon?
No, he asked, is it manual focus? No, not manual focus. If it's really dark outside, what I'll have a guest or someone do is take their cell phone and bring their cell phone up close to the groom and light the groom with the cell phone so I can catch my focus, and then I make them run away and I take the picture so I can catch my focus on that. Okay, does that make sense? Here we go. All right, so let's talk about some couples. Once I posted a champagne shot at the end of the night, now every single one of my couples wants a champagne shot at the end of the night, right? And let me tell you what, this picture is the easiest picture to make in the entire world. All you need, 2 lights, 2 bottles of champagne, life is good, right? So I used the AD200 light, which is made by Godox, if you don't know, the AD200, and I arm it with 2 grids. So 1 grid here, 1 grid on the other side. And I put the lights actually behind the couple. So my light on this side is lighting the bride. My light on this side is lighting the groom, and they're behind. So this light is coming, lighting her a little bit, but then hitting his face here, right? The reason why you want the light in the back, you want to backlight that water. You want to backlight that champagne. Whatever liquid you're throwing in the air, you want to backlight that. And that really is going to make it sparkle. And this is the cityscape of El Paso, Texas right here. So you just tell them, on 3, shake that stuff and let it fly. And then you fire, fire, fire. They think it's hilarious. You get great expressions, lots of giggling. It's super fun. They love it. And there's always a little bit of champagne left that I get to drink afterwards, which is the most important part as far as I'm concerned. I think I have another example of one of these. Let's take a look. Okay, 2 AD200s, both with MagGrids. I call that cross-lighting. This is actually how I light dance floors. I cross-light it. 2 lights on opposite corners of the dance floor, cross-light in, you get spectacular light, and it looks really, really great. Here's another champagne shot. Same thing. This is our groom from a minute ago, right? Where we just isolated him. He's having the time of his life. They're loving life. They actually did their exit through a sparkler thing and ran back so we could do this shot. They were like, no, we don't want to go to our hotel yet. We want to look like badasses with champagne and make this cool picture. So, and this is a huge spread in their album. They loved it. So again, a great way to add more spreads into your album is to just do these fun shots. Again, it takes hardly any time to set up. It's just 2 lights. It's really super easy. Any questions about these champagne style shoots at all? No.
The one on this side is for the bride?
His question is the light on this side to light the bride? Yes, I like to cross light. So I put the light stand maybe 2 feet behind them, 1 on either side of them, and cross light through that direction.
They had a good feel. I mean, on the side.
Yeah, it looks great. Thank you so much.
Have a light on the front of them though, right? Right there?
So the light over here is coming across. It spreads out a little bit. It's not a laser beam spread, right? So it is gonna spread a little bit, but you definitely want the light to come through to light up that champagne. Same concept here. This is that setting spray that they always get at the end of as they're getting ready, that makeup setting spray. One light, backlit, about 5 feet behind the bride as she's getting done. Her face right here is being lit by this window. There's a window right here. So I always ask the makeup artist, hey, when are you gonna do that setting spray? Or when is hairspray time? Because they'll create that huge fog of hairspray, right? All you do is put your light behind them. Again, I start at about pretty low power on my light for these situations because it's usually a small room and I don't want to blast light everywhere. Just tell them to squirt that stuff, go with the hairspray. Sometimes with hairspray, I'll ask them to spray it around because the bride's already covered in hairspray. She doesn't need like a thick shell for her hair on her wedding day. So we'll do, around to kind of do different things. It's really easy. It looks spectacular. And let's look at our things. Oh, look at this Nikon DF. Oh yeah. 35 millimeter lens, 180-200 with a MagGrid behind her. Super easy. Literally, this takes 1 minute to set up, couple shots, boom, you're done. And people love it. People love it. Any questions about anything like this? How am I doing on time? Are we good?
One light?
One light. That's it. One light.
Her hand's so good.
Yeah. So there's a huge window right here, lighting her face, lighting the hand. It's really super simple to do. Let's see what we have next. All right. Anyone been to the White Sands National Monument in New Mexico? It's one of my favorite places on planet Earth. And they have these really crazy, spacey looking picnic benches. And so they're like this tin material and they curves up and over so you can have lunch and not get, rained on or pooped on or whatever you need to do while you're having lunch. So one light, 8200 with the MagSphere, pointing up. I set it right behind them. It's lifting up, it's bouncing off the roof of this thing and lighting that beautiful orange. I use one full CTO gel. Do you know what I mean by that? Will you hand me a gel real fast, please?
Dude, I got you.
Hey, bro, thank you so much. You throw one of these. What's cool about the MagSphere is that there's a little lip right inside here where these gels fit right in, which is pretty cool. So you don't have to worry about, is it gonna fall out? No, it fits right in there. It's super easy to do. So this is just behind them, focus up, lighting all this. It's lit down here orange because it's bouncing off the roof of this picnic bench, this picnic table. Again, my favorite time of day. I chose this gel because I knew the orange and blue were sort of opposite colors and I knew it would look really cool against that. And I'm just like, hold still or make out or whatever sort of direction you want to give your couple. That's what I love to do. And I think it looks really stunning. I love all this negative space. It really draws your eye into the couple. And it's super great. And usually by this time they're tired of running around, or if they can just stand there and have a few minutes to themselves while I set up, it's really easy. And it looks spectacular. Let's see what else we have today. Aha. This is also at the White Sands National Monument in New Mexico. We went out there for their engagement session and a crazy rainstorm came in. And I told them, pray for rain. Whatever kind of session we do, pray for rain. But it was raining so hard, if we got out, we would have been drenched completely. I would have ruined all my camera gear. So we huddled in the cars and decided, are we gonna wait for the rain to finish or are we gonna go? We'll just call it a day. And they were like, I don't know, what should we do? I'm always waiting, like, why not? Let's wait and see what happens. 5 minutes later, the rain stops and the sky does this ridiculous pink color. This is like practically straight out of camera. This amazing thing. And I look on the ground and I see the puddles left over from the rain. And in my mind, I think puddle, I think reflection. So then how do I light them? This is lit with one mag box. That's it. I put it on a stand and it's just out of frame here. I could have lit them, I could have backlit them. I could have done numerous things, but I didn't want to overpower them with my light. I wanted the star of this photograph, besides my couple, to be this, right? So just a kiss of light, mwah, just to light them so we can see them nicely and separate them out a little bit. But at the same time, I did not want to mess with that beautiful sky that suddenly appeared. And 5 minutes later, it was gone. It turned like a real weird brown color. It was so weird. It was the weirdest weather, but it made for a great photograph in about the 5 minutes I had to create it. So that was super cool. Again, one mag box here. Let's see if we have it. 8200 in a mag box. One of these guys. Nope, it's because it's this big old thing. I use what's called the focus diffuser, which narrows the light down a little bit. Could I have used this thing? Absolutely, because I'm not worried about the spill of light in this situation. I don't care where the light goes around them. As long I don't want it on the ground so much, but it's not going to bounce off anything because they're out in the open. So either the focus diffuser or just the regular diffuser is fine. I just want to soften the light a bit, give them a little touch of light, and that's it. Super easy to do, beautiful thing. And so anytime your sky looks great, you could always just add a little pop of light to them to separate them from there, and it's amazing. Aha. This is a 2-light setup. The venue where this is has these kind of crazy looking, Christmas ornament looking things that hang down on fishing line. And I think they're for candles or little plants or something, I don't know, but they're just there. And I'm always terrified I'm gonna bump into them and break them into 1,000 pieces. But luckily I didn't. So I have one light in an 8200 with the MagSphere lighting my couple. I have another light on this side with a blue gel on it, just lighting these hangy-downy looking, Christmas ornament looking glass things, right? So then I climb through them very delicately so I don't shatter them in 1,000 pieces. I use an 85mm lens, shoot through there, got that, super easy. 2 lights, yes ma'am.
So where is the blue light coming from?
Her question to me was, where's the blue light coming from? It's coming from this side, slightly in front of them, just shining straight across these glass things. I don't want the blue light to fall on them, right? I want the blue light just to hit these glass things. Why did I use an 85? Because I wanted to compress the distance between them and these things, whatever they're called. Yes, one.
Was there a grid too on the blue?
Yes, on the blue there was a grid because I want to narrow that light down, right? And I just wanted to land on these.
So you told her to close her eyes.
Yeah, snuggle, kiss, whatever, I don't care. I love her easy smile, so that kind of thing's amazing. So 2 lights, there we go. Let's see what else we've got. And go, there we go. All right, one more magnificent image. This is rain. So like I said, pray for rain on your wedding day. We're shooting their engagement session. We get this beautiful New Mexico sky. It starts to drizzle, and I'm like, don't freaking move, right? So I get my light out, I run behind them, and my light is probably 10 feet behind them. It's an AD200 with a MagSphere. Again, probably 10, 15 feet behind them. I expose for the sky before I even take a picture with my flash. I want this sky to be the star of this photograph. Once I get the ambient light and the sky looking how I want it, I pop that flash, and then we get that beautiful rim light that I love so much. We get the rain, and I show them on the back of the camera. Mind blown, game over, let's pack it up. It's incredible, super easy to do. Again, it's so easy. Now, if you're gonna do some kind of like rain or something like that, I suggest using the sphere, because it's gonna spread that light out wide. So you can get the drops as far out as they're gonna go. And if it's closer to them, I'm gonna get less drops, right? So I want it farther back, stronger power, so I can really pick up on that thing. Is it a black background? No, I don't really care about that in this situation because the light is so pretty, right? So pretty. This is one of my favorite images. I just love it. I love it. Any questions about this setup? Anyone? Questions? There we go. 8200 MagSphere, D750, 24-70. Good stuff. Hey, my name is Dan Dalstra. I thank you guys so much for coming out today. It has been a real treat to see you guys. I would love to answer any questions if I have any time. I have a few minutes for questions. Anything?
Or you can always stick around for just a couple minutes in the back.
I will stick around for a minute in the back. I'd love to chat with you guys. Again, thank you to MagMod for having me out. Such great guys and ladies. And thank you guys all for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.